First, we're going to discuss the humanistic approach. My God, just read what's there. Okay. First, we're going to discuss the humanistic approach, which has an optimistic view of human nature and of the human condition, seeing people in the process of growth and development with the capacity to take responsibility for their faith. The humanistic art therapy approaches include phenomenological, Gestalt, humanistic, person-centered, and transpersonal. The humanistic art therapy theories that we'll be discussing today will be transpersonal, otherwise known as open studio, and humanistic. I don't know how to word this. I don't know how to word it. So the transpersonal theory, transpersonal theory aims to dissolve dualism. Do I have to explain what that is?
Dualism?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Dissolve dualism. I guess I could say the goal first, and then I'll read the other ones. Okay. It's theory, right? Transpersonal theory? Okay. Transpersonal theory. The goal is to experience oneness with the universe. This includes dissolving dualism, a spiritual belief in the unseen. The therapist's role is as a fellow traveler, expanding on their own consciousness and leading to greater service to the client. This includes a non-interfering role of mindful engagement and witnessing. The therapist will also create a sacred space where all truths are welcome. The client... This approach helps the client to get in touch with the deeper part of their self. The open studio approach is based on the following elements: intention, art making, and witnessing. Intention acknowledges that each individual is responsible for deciding what he or she wants to understand, change, or accept about themselves. Only the client themselves can evaluate and set goals. Some intentions could include: I release my judgments about who I am. I am open to self-healing. I connect with my creativity and allow it to lead me. Art making, which is one of the primary ways to refine. There's going to be so much editing for you, I'm sorry. The second element of the open studio process is art making, which is one of the primary ways to refine one's awareness. This also allows the individual to express themselves spontaneously and authentically. The client allows the image to lead them where they're meant to be. The third element of the open studio process is to witness through writing and reading. This is a dialogue between the artist and the art. It's an extremely important part of the open studio process in which the client records everything they experience. Okay, I still have more. Okay. In the transpersonal process, oh my God, it sounds so weird. In the open studio process, the individual's creative process will guide them in its own time, its own way. And that was really worded weird. The individual's creative process will guide them in its own time and its own way as each person gains the ability to be open to it. That's like worded really weird, right? Interesting.
Just say it.
Okay. The individual's creative process will guide them in its own time and its own way, as each person gains the ability to be open to it. This approach trusts that the client knows what they need to do to reach the ultimate goal. The open studio process is appropriate for high-functioning individuals. And I didn't put what it could help with.
It's okay.
I mean, higher understanding
I
of
feel like
oneself.
Jerry's such an easy grader anyway.
Yeah, this is all I have for humanistic.
Okay.
Okay.
Humanistic.
Mm.
You're almost done.
Okay. Next, we'll discuss the humanistic theory of art therapy. This approach to art therapy is based on a few assumptions. 1. Clients are seen as resolving life problems and not as mentally ill. Clients are viewed as who they are and not as their problems. 2. The client's inability to self-actualize leads to identity crises, which the art therapist helps to integrate into art expressions. 3. Relating self-actualization to intimacy and trust in personal relations and the search for I don't know what that word is.
What is it? Transcendent.
Transcendent.
Read
I
number
don't even
3.
know what that means.
Transcendent.
Okay. 3. Relating self-actualization to intimacy and trust in personal relations and the search for translation. Oh my God.
Transcendent.
Transcendent.
Yeah, transcendent.
Transcendent. Transcendent. Transcendent.
Mm-hmm.
Transcendent. God, Megan, you are so annoying. Just read it.
Transcendent.
It's a hard word.
It might help you put a colon between the S and the C. There you go. Transcendent. Transcendent.
I don't care if it's spelled wrong, I'll know when it is.
Transcendent. There you go. All right, number 3.
3. Relating self-actualization to intimacy and trust in personal relations and the search for transcendent life goals. This approach includes the client and therapist. In this approach, the client and therapist work together to explore inner images, dreams, archetypes, and to reach a mutual goal. Humanistic includes authenticity, autonomy, and actualization. I feel like none of this makes sense, what I wrote here. Like, it really doesn't.
It makes sense to me.
Okay. Maybe I didn't study enough, I don't think. Like, I didn't study. Oh, Jerry would be so disappointed. Put that in the bloopers. Oh. Creativity is a big part of the humanistic theory because it brings something new into the world. This theory focuses on what's going right in the client's life. Siri, I'm not talking to you. You're freaking out. Okay. The art therapist will focus on creating a non-judgmental environment and helping the client give up God, I need some of this perfectionistic standards. The art therapist focuses on creating a non-judgmental environment and helping the client give up perfectionistic standards of performance and behavior. For the client, there is an emphasis on learning to be a single person, one that is able to take charge of one's own life. That's all I have. So I don't know how long